I've been a financial advisor now for about 16 and a half years. Before that, I used to run a $200 million a year company with about 2,000 employees worldwide, which sounds more awesome than it really was. It was a nightmare, it was a headache. I was always traveling away from my family. And I actually got downsized 16 and a half years ago. So I was looking for another corporate position to join. Never thought about the financial services industry, never occurred to me. Got a call from a recruiter. So I decided to show up. At the interview, it was me and like 6 other people in a classroom setting. And they started talking about what they did. And so what they were recruiting for doing Medicare policies. So visiting with elderly folks and doing that. And after I got done with that meeting, I really just wanted to take a shower and get the heck out of there. I didn't like the concept. I didn't like what they were doing. And I said, you know what, this isn't for me. So I started interviewing with other corporate positions. And then I got out of the blue, I got a call from a second recruiter. And the recruiter said, hey, I'm recruiting for the financial services industry. And I said, no thanks, I already did this with somebody else. And she goes, no, this is different. This is a firm out of Lancaster. Just drive out there. You'll meet with the owner. And if it's different, great. If it's not, then you don't have to talk to them again. And I did. And here we are, 16 and a half years later, in the financial advisory industry, which I never thought I was gonna ever be in because I never gave it any consideration. It was totally new, right? I knew what the corporate space was all about. It's about managing people, it's about cutting expenses, because I was in the manufacturing world, right? And the financial growth industry, the financial industry was about the exact opposite. It was about helping people and growing people. It wasn't about cutting and restricting and so forth. So I think the thing that most caught my attention is the part about helping people and helping them grow their world instead of what I used to do, which was reduce their world, right? Which ended up happening to me as well, right? So I guess that's what was really attracting me to it. Okay. And it was kind of funny because when I was considering doing this and then I decided to make the jump, one of my very good friends said, wow, you're taking a huge risk in essentially going into the financial industry because, I mean, you have no clients and you're essentially working for yourself. And the way I responded was, I think I'm actually going to be at less of a risk. And he looked at me kind of funny and he said, what do you mean less of a risk? I said, well, everybody thinks that when you work for a corporation, you have no risk. And when you work for yourself as your own business owner, you have a lot more risk. But the opposite is actually true, is what I told them. I said, if I'm running my own financial planning firm, which I am, sure, I'm an entity to myself, nobody's gonna fire me but me. But I got let go from a corporate job. So I think the opposite is actually true. You have a lot less risk when you are in the financial industry because you run your own business, you get to decide how to do it, and you get to decide what direction you're gonna go, where that is not necessarily the same that occurs in a corporate space. So I actually view it opposite. There's a lot less risk in doing this than being in a corporation because I got let go. I was a pretty high level employee and I got let go. Downside. So yeah, and he was kind of surprised by that answer, but that's kind of the way I think about it. It was absolutely scary at first, right? It's like complete new, I have no clients. The first thing that went through my head is I'm gonna start calling all these people. They know me as a corporate guy. They don't know me as a financial advisor. They're gonna go, what the heck? Why would I do anything with you because you're brand new in this business? I would rather talk to somebody more experienced. So that was kind of what was going through my head. That wasn't actually what happened. What I found out is that people don't care about how much you know about financial matters. What they care is that they have somebody in their corner that cares about them, right? And I think that's kind of what came across when I spoke to folks. I told them, hey, listen, here's what I'm doing. I'm opening up a brand new practice. We're gonna do financial planning, retirement planning. And what I told them is I'm gonna take the same care with the plans that I create for you that I did when I was running the corporation. And what I found is that people really care about that. And they really don't care about how little you know or how much you know. They wanna know that you care about them, right? So I think that was a real interesting perspective that I didn't walk into this business with, that I've discovered and I've found to be repeatedly true over and over and over again. The first highlight, so when I first decided, okay, I'm gonna make the leap and do this, I remember sitting in front of my computer and looking at a calendar. I think it was like September timeframe of whatever year it was. And I said to myself, wow, I wonder if I'm going to be here a year later doing this, right? And a year later, I'm going, wow, I'm still here doing this. This is kind of crazy, right? So that was, I remember that distinctly happening. So that was kind of one of those highlights for me. And then the other thing that was a highlight was that as I started bringing on more and more clients, I was actually being able to be successful at doing this, right? I take every client that I bring on board as a tremendous responsibility. To me, they came to me, and I am responsible for their financial well-being. Okay, so to me, every time I got another client, it was like, wow, this is pretty cool. These people are entrusting me with their financial future. That's a huge responsibility. So those are the two kind of things that I remember very vividly from back then as I started.